Hey guys, today we'd like to go over something that your bearded dragon might go through during the coming fall and winter months. Now that the days are getting shorter and the temperatures are starting to go down, you might notice that your bearded dragon will start to slow down. Even if its tank is still at its normal hot spot of like 95 to 100 degrees. Now if you see this happen, your beardie might be going through the process of brumation. Now, brumation is a perfectly natural process for a healthy bearded dragon to go through. It's kind of like a hibernation cycle that mammals go through, but it's not as deep and intense as a true mammal hibernation. Now, as far as some of the behaviors you'll see from your bearded dragon, you'll notice them slow down their eating, or they might just stop eating altogether. This is because their digestive system slows down so much and their metabolism slows down. So they don't need to eat as much to keep their body weight up. And because their digestive system slows down, they won't poop as much. So you might see them poop like once every 2 weeks or probably once a month. Your bearded dragon will also start to sleep a lot. Some will go into a very deep sleep and not wake up through the whole period of time. Others, they'll take naps and they'll wake up every now and then to come out and bask. So it just depends on the individual bearded dragon. Now we have one female breeder beardie right here that usually goes through brumation every year for us. She's gone through it the past 2 years. It usually lasts about 3 months during the fall and winter months. What we'll start to notice with her is that she'll slow down her eating first. She usually spends a lot of time in her log. Once she does that more and more, eventually she just won't come out of it all the fall and winter months. We'll lift up every now and then to check on her and make sure she's doing okay, but we don't really try to disturb her very much so that she can go through her brumation cycle. Now the only time she'll eat during the brumation is if we feed her like a hornworm or something really special, so special that she can't resist it. And she'll usually poop like once every other week or so. Now during your bearded dragon's brumation cycle, it's important to check on them every now and then to make sure they're okay, and that they're not losing weight. They should lose hardly any weight during this time. Because their metabolism slows down so much, so they shouldn't be using any of the body fat that they have. If your bearded dragon does start to lose weight, that usually means they have parasites, and that's usually something you want to get checked out. So as long as they're not losing weight, which they shouldn't, then your bearded dragon's good to go. Now, while your bearded dragon is going through brumation, it's important to keep their lights on. You can see we've got her lights on, even though she might be starting to go through brumation. We keep hers on the same day and night cycle as we usually do for all our other breeder beardies. So it's important to just keep that cycle constant. It's also very important to keep the light on because sometimes they'll wake up and want to come out and bask. So they need to be able to have that light shining so that they can come out and bask and then go right back to sleep. Now you don't need to change their temperature at all to induce a brumation. It should just happen naturally with your beardie. You shouldn't make it colder to try to induce them to go through brumation. They'll just kind of go through it themselves, even if the temperature is still nice and hot in their cage. Also, don't bother them too much while they're in brumation, because if you get them out and play with them, they could just restart the whole brumation process again, and it could last a lot longer than it usually would if you just left them alone. Just check on them every so often, more of a visual check, but don't get them out, play with them or anything. So just to keep their cycle constant. So once spring arrives and it gets a little warmer, you'll start to notice them come out of hiding and get a little bit more active, and they'll start basking more. With our female, we notice that she'll come out of her log more and she'll want to be out under her lamp, and she'll go crazy for crickets. She will be so hungry and want to eat so much. She turns into a whole different bearded dragon once the brumation ends. And even after brumation, we give her about 3 weeks and she's usually ready to breed. She's very fertile and she's usually very successful at breeding. When we pair her up with a male for the first time in the spring, she'll usually give us a couple of good clutches just from one breeding session. So yeah, Brumation seems to do a really good job for keeping her body healthy, and she does really good with it. Okay, so this is our breeder female that we've been talking about in this video, and she's a little bit hyper right now because she's being held, but she is starting to slow down now that it's getting a little bit colder and the days are getting shorter. She's also starting to slow down on her cricket eating. Usually during the summer and spring she eats them like crazy, and we'll eat every single one we put in there. So yeah, we think that she's getting ready to brumate now. Now, brumation might seem a little scary at first because your bearded dragon's not eating or pooping and then they're sleeping all the time, but once you know what's going on, it's nothing to worry about.